ZEISS is one of the oldest optics manufacturers still operating today. As one of the early pioneers of lens technology, their optical designs have paved the way for most modern lenses. Their patents on designs such as the tessar and sonar, along with the introduction of lens coating, established ZEISS as a leader in the film and television industry from its very inception. Whether we're discussing their partnership with ARRI to create the master primes utilized in blockbuster films, or their partnership with Sony for smartphone and photography camera lenses, the ZEISS name is synonymous with the pinnacle of imaging technology. Today, we're going to do an overview of ZEISS entry-level digital cinema lenses, the CP.3s and the LWZ.3s. We'll go over the technologies and features that make them some of the most popular mid-sized budget lenses and compare them to ZEISS's photography lens series such as the Otus, Milvus, Loxia, and Batis. Before we get too in-depth on the specifics of each lens series, let's start by talking about ZEISS design philosophy. All of their lenses, from the Supreme primes down to their photography primes, adhere to what people call the ZEISS Look. It starts with color rendition. Some lens manufacturers favor warmer or cooler colors, but ZEISS has always been relatively neutral in regard to color rendition. As a result, the ZEISS lenses produce natural and realistic looking colors. This pairs well with the lens coating, which reduces flare and ghosting while enhancing light transmission. This results in high contrast and provides a boost to vibrancy and saturation. ZEISS lenses are also known for being very sharp, producing exceptionally crisp images. What is probably the most defining feature of ZEISS lenses, however, is the high micro contrast that produces the 3D pop effect. The 3D pop or ZEISS pop separates subjects from backgrounds, adding depth to the images. The ZEISS Look is implemented across all their lenses. Let's see if you can guess which shots were captured with cinema lenses and which ones were captured with photo lenses. Naturally, a few of these shots were easier to guess than others, but that's because we didn't go out of our way to make this difficult. The point is that we were able to put together a sequence of shots that feel seamless even though we're using an assortment of different lenses. Now, you might be thinking, what's the point in spending thousands of dollars on a cinema lens if I can achieve the same look by spending a couple of $100s on a photography lens? We tackled a lot of the general reasons in a previous video where we covered the differences between cinema and photography lenses. But to focus on the specifics when it comes to ZEISS, there are four main reasons: mechanics, interchangeability, tolerances, and technology. The most obvious distinction between photography and cinema lenses are the mechanics. Cinema lenses use geared focus rings that connect to other tools to empower cinematographers to pull focus, rack aperture, or zoom both quickly and accurately. And while ZEISS makes some impressively robust follow focus gear rings to empower their photography lenses to interact with cinema equipment, it doesn't quite mitigate the difference between their photography and cinema lenses. For starters, cinema lenses are designed with uniformity in mind. All cinema lenses within ZEISS's lens sets have the same ring positions and focus throw distance. This means that when swapping from one lens to another, you don't have to worry about adjusting the position of other equipment, like your follow focus or matte box. Standardizing the focus throw distance also helps filmmakers when swapping from one lens to another, and guarantees that you have the same level of precision on every lens in the series, for one, but it also reduces the chance of having to reacclimate to a lens that has more or less focus throw rotation. One of the most important lens mechanisms that separates cinema lenses from photo lenses, however, is lens breathing. Lenses like the Compact Prime 3 and Lightweight Zoom 3 barely exhibit any breathing when pulling focus. Keep in mind that these lenses are at the bottom of the cinema lineup. Photography lenses, however, may breathe depending on the lens series and focal length. The ZEISS CP.3s and LWZ.3s are user interchangeable between PL, Canon EF, Nikon F, Sony E, and Micro Four Thirds mounts. This makes them incredibly flexible for customers who may need to use them on a variety of camera systems. A rental house, for example, can purchase one set and accommodate most high-end digital cinema cameras, as long as they purchase the corresponding mounts. An owner-operator can upgrade the camera independently of their lens package, since they have the option of replacing the mount. Replacing the mount is not terribly complicated, however, you will want to make sure that you are in a clean environment to ensure that dust and debris does not get into your lens. Next up are tolerances. We mentioned before that all Zeiss lenses are designed to produce the Zeiss Look. However, the lenses at the top of the food chain are more stringent than the ones at the bottom. Thus, while the CP3s may not have as stringent a manufacturing process as the Supreme Primes, they're close enough that you can cut from one to the next without noticing a major difference. This empowers filmmakers to intercut CP3 footage in scenarios where filmmakers need a camera package with a smaller footprint or in a risky scenario. When in a pinch, a photography lens can be used for the same purpose. However, the CP3s are so small and lightweight, they're almost always the better option. We'll get into why later in the video. Finally, technology. Zeiss Cinema lenses can output extended data. This is the metadata that visual effects artists need to create virtual effects in post-production. The data is based off Cook's Eye technology and is supported by a growing number of cameras, accessories, and software platforms. The lens will output focus distance, t-stop value, depth of field calculations, lens shading data, lens distortion data, and more in real time. Those of you in visual effects departments understand the true value of having this data. But for those of you that don't, imagine you shot a video of a person standing still and wanted to replace the background. That by itself seems simple enough, but what happens if you adjust focus or aperture? Two relatively simple changes compound the challenge of creating a realistic virtual effect. If the filmmaker pulls focus, the depth of field will change, therefore the virtual background should change with it. Lens distortion and vignetting are also factors that can change mid-shot under certain circumstances, but without the data featured in extended data, all a visual effects artist can do is estimate those changes. Extended data empowers filmmakers and visual effects teams to create far more elaborate and natural-looking visual effects than what is possible with photography lenses by offering visual effects artists a lot more data to inform the creation of digital art. Now that we've elaborated on the Zeiss Look and the distinction between cinema and photography lenses, let's take a look at their lens series, starting with the CP3s. The third iteration of Zeiss's compact prime lenses are amongst the most popular cinema lenses used in production today because they cover all the fundamentals: stellar image quality, impeccable mechanics, and compatibility with a wide assortment of cameras and workflows. The lens series cover full-frame sensors, can resolve up to 8K resolution, cover a wide assortment of focal lengths ranging from 15 to 135 millimeters, and are built to survive extreme conditions. One of the most impressive features about them is how lightweight they are. They weigh between 1.7 and 2.5 pounds. For comparison, the CP2s range between 2 and 3 pounds, Otus lenses start at 2.1 pounds, and Milvus lenses range between 1.5 and 3 pounds. Somehow, Zeiss managed to deliver full-frame metal cinema lenses that are better for ultralight gimbal setups than many other photography counterparts. Despite their diminutive stature, the CP3s are exceedingly durable. Zeiss reports that their CP3s are designed to be fully functional in temperatures as low as -4 degrees and as high as 158 degrees Fahrenheit, survive being blasted with talcum powder, and they test their rings for up to 150,000 rotations. Here at B&H, we don't have the heart to torture lenses, so we'll have to take their word on that. Zeiss's third version of their lightweight zoom is another lens that lives up to its name. At 4.4 pounds, it's one of the lightest parfocal cinema zooms on the market today. Despite being lightweight, it doesn't compromise on build quality, featuring an all-metal design, 295-degree focus throw, and of course, the user-interchangeable lens mount. Unlike the CP3s, the lightweight Zoom 3 only covers Super 35. This means the lens is best suited with cameras such as the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro, C300 Mark III, or even Sony's FX9 thanks to its 4K Super 35 crop. However, we also found that it worked well with the FX6 thanks to Sony's clear image zoom. We used it to zoom in until the image circle covered the visible area, allowing us to shoot at full resolution with the camera. Again, this lens works best with Super 35 cameras or full frame cameras in a Super 35 crop mode. But if you happen to own any of Sony's latest digital cinema cameras, then this lens has you covered. This lens is even more accommodating when combined with third-party solutions such as Crozio's compact servo control unit. Combining motorized zoom control with a shoulder rig that features a grip relocator allows you to convert Sony cameras into digital cinema versions of shoulder-mounted ENG cameras. Overall, the lightweight Zoom 3 is an excellent all-purpose lens, easily fitting into documentaries, commercials, corporate videos, as well as both primetime and daytime television production. Moving into the photography lenses, we've got to start with the Otus lenses. The story goes that the product manager directed his engineers to design the best lens possible with no regard for size, weight, or cost. The result was the Otus lens series. Featuring bright f1.4 apertures along with apochromatic and aspherical lens designs, the Otus lenses capture incredibly detailed images that feature almost no distortion, color fringing, or chromatic aberration. The lenses also feature excellent mechanics that are functional for both cinema and photography production. They are exclusively manual focus, meaning you have hard stops at either end if you want to add lens gears to convert them into cinema lenses. And of course, by default, they operate extremely well for photo as well. As a result, these lenses are excellent for hybrid shooters who want one master set of lenses for both video and photo production. The biggest downside to this series is that they haven't made enough of them. Hopefully one day we'll see more options. Next up is the Milvus series. These lenses offer similar build quality to the Otus, as they are metal, manual focus lenses with generous focus throw distance. However, they lack the obsession with perfect image quality of the Otus lenses. That being said, these lenses are no slouch when it comes to image quality. They're very similar to the CP.3s in terms of image quality and lens options, making them an excellent choice for someone interested in the Zeiss Look but lacking the funds to get a full set of CP.3s. However, these lenses feature many of the compromises associated with photography lenses. They are not standardized for focus throw distance or ring position, which will take up more time on set when swapping lenses. The F version does not have a manual aperture ring. The Milvus lenses breathe more than the CP.3s. And finally, while the Milvus lenses have a slimmer profile, they're often heavier than their CP.3 counterparts. Depending on your needs, these compromises may or may not be a deal breaker. The Loxia lenses are an exceptional set of lenses for anyone interested in building a super compact camera rig. When combined with the Zeiss lens gear, it's hard to find a set of lenses that embraces the idea of hybrid photography video production more than this set. The lenses feature a manual focus ring and declickable aperture ring. Weighing between 0.7 and 1.3 pounds, these lenses are perfect for compact gimbals like DJI's Mini 3. And with 5 options between 21 and 85 millimeters, they cover the basics of wide-angle, normal, and telephoto lenses. Of all the Zeiss photography lenses, the Loxia series is my favorite because they're the most versatile. While the Otus and Milvus series are great alternatives to the CP.3s, the Loxia lenses are capable of supplementing the cinema lenses. The Loxia lens set offers something you can't get on the CP.3s because they're significantly smaller and less intimidating than cinema lenses. Therefore, whether your budget is big or small, the Loxia lenses are worth considering. The Batis lenses are the most photocentric lenses we'll discuss today. They don't have mechanical focus or aperture rings, but they can autofocus. Regarding manual focus, Zeiss has a unique twist on the focus-by-wire system. The lenses have an OLED screen that displays the focus distance in feet or meters. Most people don't like focus-by-wire systems because the speed at which you turn the ring affects the increments in which the focus changes, making it easier to over or undercompensate when tracking a subject. The OLED screen doesn't fix that problem, but at least it makes it easier to determine if you hit your target. These lenses are best for casual videographers who want or need the convenience of autofocus and auto exposure. If there's anything you should take away from this video, is that you can't go wrong with Zeiss. Whether spending a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand, Zeiss pours a century-plus level of lens designing experience into all of their products, resulting in beautiful images that retain the signature Zeiss look. Zeiss has a history of creating genre-defining lens series, going as far back as their super speeds, and their latest lenses are no different. Their CP.3s build upon that legacy, refining image quality even further and increasing the durability. The new lightweight zoom is an all-around solution for small productions and owner-operators. and their photo series fluctuate between rivaling their cinema counterparts and offering approachable entryways into the Zeiss ecosystem for those just starting out. So, what are your thoughts about Zeiss lenses? Can you see yourself investing in the Zeiss Look? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Jabari with B&H. Have a stunning day.